What is up, y'all? We are back, and I was about to say, like, these episodes have gotten better. Episode 2 was awful. Episode 3 and 4 definitely have picked up a little bit. Maybe it's because PPG is more so focused on it. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I definitely skipped through the Aaron scenes, the Connor scenes, not the Liv scenes, the Kaylor scenes where it's with the two of them or it's about the fake drama with Liv. I'm just going to keep it real with y'all. But I really wanted to talk about what y'all have been waiting to hear me talk about and really analyze it. That's what makes me really want to pay attention to it, this JaNa and Kenny stuff. I really wanted to analyze it considering the fact of what we know about Kenny. A lot of the signs became even more clear. And it's like, even during the season 6, I don't even remember if I even talked about it on here, which I'm shocked I didn't because y'all know I'm super blunt. I'm going to talk about whatever I'm feeling in the moment. There's a lot of shit with Kenny that I feel like the signs were there. They were definitely there. And y'all know, those of y'all that are new to me, you don't know. But those of y'all that aren't new, y'all know. I say it all the time. What do I always say? When the woman seems more invested in the relationship with the man than the man is with her, it never works. And we all know JaNa definitely is more into Kenny than he is her. Whereas when you look at Serena and Kordell, you could already tell from day one that Kordell was more into Serena than she was him. Obviously, she's met him at that point now, but it was more clear immediately. And like I stated, when the man's more invested, that's when it actually works better. But I'm talking a lot before I even got to doing my intro to get into it. But if y'all are new here, hit that subscribe button for me right now. Do it right now. We got the reunion August 25th. I think we got maybe 3 more episodes of this leading into it. And then we got Love Island Games. Stay locked to the channel. Stay locked. Turn the post notifications on. Like the video. Drop comments down below. Subscribe, share. We're going to break down these episodes. They're not going to be as detailed as I normally do if you're accustomed to my style. I'm going to talk about the stuff that I really want to talk about at this moment in time. You're going to see some blinking in here. It just blinked with the whole thug it through with me. I'm literally on my last video since yesterday. I've literally cranked out so many videos over the last 24, maybe almost 48 hours now because I've been gone for a week. But I'm finally at my last one. So I'm going to be able to fix what's going on with this shit. But yeah, let's go. All right, so we get back to episode 3, which is where Liv and Kaylor, they were meeting at the restaurant with JaNa, who's trying to pretty much mediate their issue with this camera shit. And they're going back and forth. JaNa is sitting there eating snacks because they haven't even ordered, not an appetizer, not even their entree. So she's sitting there, got her snacks. She whipping out some crackers and cookies and bananas as they're going back and forth. JaNa is funny. But JaNa then tells them that when you truly forgive somebody, essentially, like, you need to move on, which is true. Like, if you state that you're going to forgive somebody, don't keep bringing up the shit that they did. Forgive them and move on. Like, you got to move on. I know it's easy to state that you have to move on and try not to remember everything. You're going to remember certain things, but you have to give that person the grace to then move forward and actually show you a better side of them. Obviously, you're going to keep that in your mind. Most people do. I personally would. If it's something big enough for me to where I feel like I don't need to continue to be around you, I'm not going to do it. So if it's something minute like a fucking camera, yeah, get over it. Like, at this point, get over it. But JaNa pretty much tells him that. Liv ends up being the bigger person and pretty much kind of like moves towards trying to get them to resolve whatever little issue they have. Kaylor's still trying to have a moment, but they squash the beef, the fake beef that Kaylor has been trying to push. And Kaylor's crying, obviously, afterwards. But they hug it out. Kaylor states that the hurt is still there, but she'll try and figure out a way to get to that point with Liv again. Liv says it's going to take some time, but they'll eventually get back together. So we then get a scene with Miguel with that scammer, and they're going hiking. And Kenny states that he's loving LA. Connor actually had invited, I think either Connor or Aaron, I can't remember. I think it was Connor, invited him out to go surfing with them. But he didn't go because Connor and JaNa are not on good terms and he wishes they all could get along. But Miguel then states that everybody's not going to win. And everybody's not going to be best friends, essentially, at this point. But basically, we have to be cordial. But at this point, we can be cordial. It's not that deep. Like, we can get over it. But Miguel then asks him if he sees them moving out to LA because it has more to offer. Like, being in LA, considering where they are in terms of their actual career right now with this social media stuff and being a media personality, being in LA is probably the best thing for them. But he basically states too, like, you're closer to JaNa too, being in LA than being in Texas. I'm sitting here trying to, as I'm reading these notes, I'm sitting here trying to figure out when I want to weave in the whole shit that blew up. But we probably going to get to it in a minute. But Miguel ends up stating that he talks about how him and Leah are good, how they've been looking at places. They eventually want to move in together, as, I mean, you should if you're in a long-term relationship and you're in it for the long haul. But he wants to plan on moving in with her, and they want to move close to her family, obviously, because we know Leah is big on her animals. And Miguel ends up asking him why you and JaNa are not living together. Good question, Miguel. Kenny then states that it's a lot because he's seen relationships end. And it's like, what? Y'all been together for a full year. A full year. If you genuinely wanted to see it through, I feel like a year into a relationship, you can then start trying to think about moving in together. Like, if you really trying to be in it for the long haul, for real. And if you're not trying to prolong just being girlfriend and boyfriend, like if you really are looking towards marriage, and JaNa has been she's been very upfront about what she wants. She wants to be married. She wants to have kids. She even stated that shit in the damn house in Love Island, which when you look at the shit that she said when she said it, his reactions told the story that we should have all seen from a mile away. A lot of people have seen it. I low-key saw it. I didn't state it. I tried to give JaNa the benefit of the doubt and hope and pray to God that he was actually really in it for the long haul. But apparently, as we all know, he isn't. But he states that he wants to take things slow. How much slower do you need to take it? But Miguel then states like he's a grown, talking about himself. He's like, I'm a grown man. I've grown as a person. Leah's helped me, and she's helped me with growing as a person. They communicate. And pretty much tells him like, if you don't take those risks, you really can't see if this is really going to be the end game for you. Like, you need to test out your relationship, which, like I stated, if it was a genuine relationship on Kenny's side, he would have actually lived with JaNa during the filming of the show. You're in LA to film this show. You're not in LA for the full long haul. Like, you didn't move and uproot to LA and leave everything back in Dallas and New York, as we find out. But we'll talk about that later on. But this will be the time to see if y'all actually are meant to be together. Because if y'all are living together, y'all can see how y'all really move. But we all know he don't really want to be with her anyways. But we'll get to it. But Miguel, he states that. But we get another scene with Leah and Miguel. They're out eating in Venice. And he's talking about how he's in love with her. He's in love with her. They're good together. And he feels that way. There are rumors that he's out here cheating on her. They are rumors. I don't know that to be true. But from what he's stating, he seems like he's genuine with her. Me personally, I feel like of PPG, I feel like the most genuine couple and the most genuine relationship to me is Serena and Kordell. Easily. Their vibes are the most easier vibes to really pick up on, to where you can really tell the genuineness on both ends, because both of them just give off natural, genuine, real vibes. They're not TV. Like, they on TV, but you can tell they're not Hollywood. Like, they real people that actually are being filmed. Leah, I can say Leah gives off that vibe. JaNa, I feel like JaNa is just naturally super, like, energetic. She's super out there. She's super, like, performative. And when I say performative, I believe that's her natural personality. I don't think she's putting on. I think she's naturally that lively, that animated. Kenny is fake. We know Kenny's fake. Miguel, I feel like Miguel is being himself. But I feel like Miguel also knows he's benefiting by being with Leah. But I'm not gonna shit on their parade. I'm not gonna shit on it. But she talks about how her eating habits, she's trying to get better with eating. And she then talks about how she has an appointment to get a biopsy because she had noticed some bumps on her skin, which I'm glad she noticed it. I'm glad she went to go ahead and get that stuff checked out, because you can never, if you seeing stuff like that on you and you noticing things and you don't address it, it can end up being a bigger problem, and it's best to get on it now and see if you can get it out. But she's overthinking it. Obviously, most people would be. I would be too. I'd be thinking what she's thinking. She's thinking it could be cancerous. That type of stuff you have to really get on top of. But she feels like everything is on hold in her life right now until she figures out what's going on. And of course, Miguel is there to support her. He is being supportive for her, and that's good. That's what you need in a relationship. But we get Kenny and JaNa. They are at her place doing a Q&A on TikTok. This, I believe, is the same Q&A that I saw posted online, where I think he had asked, one of the questions was like, what is her favorite snack or whatever? And he said watermelon. Knowing what we know about him I'll talk about it now, since we're talking about him right now. If you don't already know, Was it last week? Last week, yeah, it was definitely last week. I was in I was in the Caribbean in St. Martin when all this shit blew up. And of course, I was on my community page because I literally couldn't get Peacock. I couldn't get nothing out there, y'all. I couldn't watch anything besides Now That's TV and Zeus. Like, that was it. In YouTube. But it all blew up because, was it the day before, Kenny and JaNa were at some party. And I think it was Harry Jowsey had a Snapchat of them on the dance floor dancing and stuff. And you can clearly see JaNa got her arms around his neck. Kenny has his phone in one hand. No other hand is on JaNa. Like, she's just hanging and he ain't even touching her. And I was like, that right there is a sign. And a lot of people online was questioning what happened because I think she had unfollowed him at that point. A lot of people online were speculating on what happened. Everybody thought that he was cheating because he's on that phone. And I noticed throughout both of these episodes, he's always on that phone, which is always a sign. But he's on that phone and everybody's thinking that he's cheating. There was rumors that there was a black producer, which we know that can't be true considering the fact that we find out that he don't like black people and black women. But people thought that she was the one he was cheating with, who apparently was also at this party. And word on the curb is that he brought the side chick to JaNa, which is what set JaNa off to unfollow him. So that happened the night before. Then the very next day, we see all these screenshots coming out, which I personally initially thought that they were manufactured screenshots. Y'all know how these fans get. Of Leah in the comments on the picture that it was either a picture or a post of Kenny and Miguel from that hiking scene that I just talked about that was on Kenny's page, which he posted a couple days before. And in the comments, it stated, "Get my man off of your page, you scammer," or some shit like that. Or a cloud chaser, some shit like that. I thought it was fake. When I went back and rewatched it, I was like, oh yeah, that shit is real because it was there. Like, you could see it. Then Serena gets in the comments on one of his videos, which I believed in the moment. I thought it was fake, but then again, it seems like it was real, calling him a cloud chaser and a racist. So I was like, oh. And I was like, that's the one person I wanted to hear from. If it's gonna come out of somebody's mouth and I'm gonna believe it, it's gonna be either Serena or Kordell. Those two, like I stated, are the realest ones on their season. Probably two of the realest ones on this franchise. So if they're stating it, I took it. So as soon as I saw Serena, I was like, oh yeah, he full of shit. And I was like, racist, what did he do? And I'm like, at this point, she ain't gonna state and call him a racist if she ain't got nothing to back it. So then JaNa, did it come out before that? No, it didn't come out before that because JaNa put on her story pretty much a little story. We're no longer together, as y'all know. The shit is worse than what I've seen out here being speculated. It's not what y'all said. It's even worse than that. I'm disgusted. But she kept it cute. She didn't tag him. She kept it cute. Kenny then gets on his page, posts some bullshit, pretty much stating like, we're just not better off together. I wish her nothing but the best. Yada, yada, yada. Playing stupid. Trying to act like he didn't really do nothing wrong. It was a clean split. JaNa gets on hers and pretty much asks him and tells him to shut the fuck up. You're a liar. You're a cloud chaser. I could really go in on your ass right now, and I basically tried to spare you. So then Leah gets on hers, and it just starts a chain effect. Leah was on his ass. Liv was on his ass. Kaylor was on his ass. So we then knew he did something crazy, and we was like, what the fuck did he do? Because at this point, DV came out. People was thinking that. The cheating allegations, obviously. But we then find out that one of his friends had leaked a group text, which I don't know it to be true, but what I saw on social media is a bunch of white dudes in the group chat with him where he's out here calling JaNa a nigga. I saw something that said he called her a nigger bitch or some shit. Don't coin me. I don't know for sure if that's true or not, but that's what I heard speculated. But wild. And I actually enjoyed watching his unfollowing go down. I don't pay attention to people's follows like that, but seeing everybody else screenshotting it made me want to see even more how long he's dropped. And let me see how far he's dropped from here. And y'all see how I've literally not talked about the episode. I literally stopped talking about the episode. But he is now at 580,000. I remember when I first looked, he was at 800 and I want to say 10,000 at that point. So he's dropped almost 250,000, almost 300,000. It's still not enough. He needs to be at 10,000. He's a cloud chaser. He wanted to use JaNa to get the cloud. He wanted to ride that out. He's not into black women. Just a lot of things in which, when it all came out too, I just thought about JaNa. I'm like, that sucks for her, because he just ruined her chances of actually truly building and trusting connections with men that might actually be genuine to her. She's not going to be questioning everything, because not only that, you've literally been in a relationship with somebody for a whole fucking year, lying to that person, laying next to that person, knowing that you hate that type of person. You don't like her. You never wanted to be with her. You only wanted to be with her because you know what comes with JaNa. We're going to talk about it in a minute. JaNa is the only reason people care about Kenny. And when I say that, I'm not saying that, obviously there's people out here who do care about him as a person, but let's keep it real. His clout, everything that comes with him is because of JaNa. Like, if he was not attached to JaNa, he wouldn't get anything. He would not get anything. Like, is he getting any TV shows? No. JaNa was on that Destination X show. JaNa got plenty of brand deals by herself. I don't know Kenny having any brand deals by himself. Kordell got his own. Miguel got his own. As we already know, Serena and Leah got their own. He's the only one in the PPG and the M that I feel like can't stand on his own when it comes to actually getting deals. Like, your affiliation comes with JaNa. So for you to be trying to ride that clout thing out with her, it's crazy, considering the fact that in this episode, in one of these episodes, he talks about how he wants to go back to his 9-to-5 stuff, and he's struggling with the whole like attention and stuff. Bullshit. It was disgusting to me, and I hated hearing it. I just hate it. I hate it. But yeah, let's get back into this episode. But yeah, they start going through the question and answer, and he doesn't know anything. Like, every question, he did not get the correct answer. And JaNa realizes, like, damn, he really don't know shit about me. I said, that was when you should have realized, JaNa. Like, that was it. But he then talks about how people follow him because of who he is. And I'm like, no, like I just said, people follow you because of JaNa. Like, that's it. Besides the other whores out here who want to get with you because they know that you were with JaNa. And you know how whores are. Like, they just want to fuck somebody's shit up. And there's probably a lot of girls out here who don't want to fuck him, but like, let's keep it real. But JaNa, like I said, she went through the questions and realized that he don't know shit about her. We get Kordell and Serena at Serena's place with his cat Milo. She's preparing herself to deal with him, talking about the cat. And Kordell lets the cat out, and she's not with it. I wouldn't be with it either. Like, I have dogs. I've grew up with dogs. Love dogs. Cats, absolutely not. Absolutely not. But he's going to Atlanta. As we know, he's filming a scripted show. I thought they were talking about Reasonable Doubt. He is filming, well, he might have filmed it already, but he was filming Keke Palmer's show at this moment in time, but we know he got Reasonable Doubt as well. Shout out to Kordell. Proud of him. But she's trying to use this time when he's gone to get used to Milo, because that's his cat. They're in it for the long haul. She eventually knows with them eventually moving in together, that comes with Milo as well. She got to get used to it because he's going to be in her space. Like, they're going to be sharing space. So she ain't with it, though. The cat starts jumping up and down on shit. That's why I don't fuck with them. They sneaky. Like, But Kordell ends up putting the cat back in the bag. Serena pretty much stays like, I don't think I can do this. I don't even think I can do it. The cat's cute. She said that Kordell's cute with the cat, but like, at this moment in time, I don't know if I can do it. But she's going to try to eventually get herself to do it. She's going to start with baby steps. We get JaNa and Kenny at his place. They're talking about going to this party that Liv is throwing later on for a housewarming. Serena's going. JaNa doesn't know if Leah's going because of what's been going on with her health. And Kenny was like, just call her. So they call her. Leah tells her that they cut off a little, whatever, that little bump that she had saw, they cut some skin off of her. And I'm like, damn, it's really that serious. And she was like, we'll hear back in 10 to 14 days on what's really going on. And JaNa ends up asking her how she's feeling. She says she's feeling good. Miguel is with her. And he was with her at the appointment. JaNa wishes her well. Leah says like she's been super disengaged with everything that's going on, obviously. And it's understandable. Like, she's going through a lot of shit to where like her even being around people, talking to people, that's big anyways. Me personally, I know how I am. I'm an introvert. I was shut down for real. I wouldn't be talking to nobody. But she was like, essentially me going to this party, I wouldn't be present. Like, I would be there, but I wouldn't be there. So it just doesn't make sense for me to really do it because I wouldn't be a good house guest. And she's not lying. I understand it. But we get a scene of Kaylor. She's talking to her friend. I think it's the same one that was on episode 1 or 2 about Liv and her making up or whatever. She's still apprehensive. And she's going to be going to the housewarming, even though it's like she's still apprehensive about it, but she wants to go to have that first step into them actually progressing. Like she's like, at this point, if we don't really start moving to actually making things better, we're not going to be better. It's true. But she doesn't plan on being there long. But she then states that she's essentially wanting to focus on herself. But we get Liv. She's at her apartment. She's setting everything up. JaNa and Kenny are the first ones to show up. Kaylor ends up calling JaNa while they're there, talking about, like, what are you wearing? And Liv is like, is she coming? Is she coming? But JaNa pretty much thinks that Kaylor is coming because of the intervention that she had. And she's happy about it. Like, she wants everything to be good within the group. And Liv is talking about how Kendall was being messy, obviously, bitch ass, bringing somebody over named Caleb, which I'm assuming is the Caleb that Kaylor was talking about. I guess it's one of the dudes that she was fooling with, trying to bring him over to Liv's housewarming, which it's going to make Liv look shady because it's her shit. And it's like, okay, well, you okayed him bringing this dude here, which is going to then make Liv look shady, which, as we all know, her and Kaylor are trying to get back on good terms, which that would literally fuck it up. But we'll get to it. But JaNa then tells her, like, tell Kendall not to come. And Liv was like, I mean, essentially it's like talking to a brick wall. I'm like, Liv, no, that is your house. If you tell him not to bring that person there and he brings him there, kick his ass out too. Like, it's that simple. But people start showing up. Aaron is one of those people. Aaron, I feel bad for Aaron in terms of, like, you could tell he's depressed. Granted, all of the stuff that was said to him last season about how he treated Kaylor on the show, all of it was warranted. All of it was the truth. But you can tell that man is depressed. I don't want anybody to be depressed because I already know what that feels like. I was depressed at one point, 2020, because of my job. But, like, depression is nothing to play with. And you can tell just throughout the first 4 episodes, he don't want to be doing this, which is why I don't know why he's here. Like, honestly, prioritize your mental health. And you can tell, like, his scenes, like, his energy is super low. Go home and take care of yourself. I'm not a fan of him, but I don't want his mental health to be terrible. But Kenny ends up asking him, like, what you been up to? And he's talking about his YouTube and stuff. And Aaron's like, I mean, I've been logged out of my social medias and stuff like that. But Aaron ends up asking Kenny about life. And this is where Kenny talks about how he's been struggling with this influencer life. And I'm like, bullshit. You ain't fooling nobody. You really want that. You want that. But he claims that he's missing his job because it was super fulfilling. I guess he feels like, at least to our eye, that waking up and not really doing anything but, like, social media work is boring to him and it's not fulfilling. But considering them texts, I can't take anything you stating is true. But Aaron ends up asking him, like, why didn't you come to the beach with me and Connor? And Kenny was like, essentially, we're not that close for real, him and Connor, but there's still unresolved shit between him and JaNa. But Kenny is now in the kitchen with JaNa on that phone, but living, and he's probably in that group chat talking shit about JaNa. That's the craziest part. You literally lay next to this woman and talk to her every day, kiss her every day, get you behind your back calling her a nigga and calling her out of her name, talking bad about, like, that's next level evil. That's psychotic. That is psychotic. But Liv and Aaron, they're in the kitchen catching up. As we all know, they weren't best of friends on season 6. And they're both talking about essentially how it's hard with them two being foreigners. They're not from the United States, and they're in the United States. They're away from their families. She from Australia, which is all the way on the other side of the world. He's from the UK. Their families aren't there. They're pretty much around people that are their friends, but they don't have immediate family. They can't get to their family as quickly as everybody else can. But Kendall's messy ass shows up with his friend. It's not the one that they were thinking was coming. But Liv ends up asking him, like, why are you trying to invite Caleb to come here knowing that Kaylor and I are not on good terms? We're trying to get back on good terms. And you just know how this shit's going to look for me. And he was like, I mean, it's not all that. It's not all on me. It is on you. And Liv was like, essentially, but you don't see how that's going to end up on me? Like, it's not going to end up on you. It's going to end up on me because it's going to make me look shady because this is my housewarming. Like, Kendall, I can't stand Kendall. I can't wait till Nicole gets on here, and I hope she lays him out. But Kendall claims that it's not that big of a deal. I'm like, yeah, because you're messy. That's what you live for. But Kaylor shows up, and Liv is thanking her for coming. She thanks her for inviting her. Liv and Kendall, they're sitting there talking, and he calls Kaylor over, being messy. But Liv then mentions to him, like, you trying to invite Caleb over. Like, do you not see how that's messy when it comes to Liv or to Kaylor? And Kaylor's like, why would you even invite him over? Like, why would you even do that? Like, why don't you think for once? And I'm like, exactly. But Liv then says, like, do you not see how it's deeper than what you feel? And it's like Kenny sitting there talking about something. It's not that big of a deal. Like, I apologize. He's not coming. But Kaylor says, like, you can't, like, you need to start thinking about somebody else besides yourself. It's rich coming from Kaylor. Because Kaylor is she's very self-oriented. She only thinks about Kaylor for real, for real. But what she's stating is true. Because Kenny he wants to be messy at this point. That's just really what it is. But he then tells her it's not that deep. How you going to tell her it's not that deep? It's not that deep to you. She's the one that was dealing with him. So maybe it is deep to her. But Serena and Kordell, they arrive bringing the good vibes, good energy. The little interactions between Serena and JaNa cracked me up. Kordell had me laughing about them strawberries, talking about something. I see these strawberries still sitting here. Don't look like people have been touching them. He ends up asking JaNa, like, what's up with him? If you black, you already know why he was doing it. Like, I'm like that with people's food when it comes to, like, being home cooked. Like, at my job, we be having meetings and stuff, and they be trying to bring in food. If it's not catered, I'm not touching it. Like, I grabbed somebody's mac and cheese one day, not even to eat it. I just wanted to pick in it and look. And you can tell when somebody black made some mac and cheese. If it's not baked, if it ain't got that crust, like that cheese crust, I ain't touching it. So I was laughing with Kordell doing that. But Kordell also comes in with a bottle. Etiquette. You don't come to somebody's house empty-handed. I saw a lot of people coming in there with nothing in their hands. I said, Kordell, bring that Southern class to the show. But Kaylor and Aaron, they finished the scene talking. I'm not going to lie to y'all. Skipped right through it. Don't care. But we moved to episode 4. Let me take a drink. And if y'all haven't already, thumbs up the video. Drop the comments. Share the video. Subscribe if you're new. But JaNa and Kenny, we're at their place again. Well, we're at her place, not theirs, because we all know they don't live together. And they're talking about Kenny not knowing what to do when it comes to taking care of a dog because they want to adopt a dog. Or at least JaNa does. But he then states like he wanted to invite Leah and Miguel over because, as we all know, Leah is the connoisseur when it comes to animals. And Miguel is kind of being adopted into that life because he is with Leah. He's spending a lot of time with her animals. So they FaceTime them and invite them to come pick up the dog with them. So we get a scene of Kordell and Serena at a cooking class. They whip the fuck up. I don't eat steak, which I'm assuming this is what that was. But whatever it looked, they did their thing with that. But Serena talks about how happy she is, like having her person in LA. And she can't imagine not being in LA with him without Kordell. But she then talks about how sexy he looks cooking and stuff. She likes watching him with his muscles. She likes smacking his ass because she knows with him cooking, both of them hands are occupied, cracking up, laughing, that laugh that she has. But they chefed up, like I said, a nice little piece of steak. It looked good. I don't eat it, but it looked good. But she was like, I got to tell you a secret. And he's almost saying, you ain't pregnant, are you? She starts trying to hold it in. She trying to make him buy it, but she can't. Serena can't do it. Serena's a goofball. So she started laughing. But she tells us in her confessional she grew up Southern. There is no baby before that ring. I said, smart girl. But she then states, too, that her IUD, she said, look, it be ducking and, look, hitting them phase when it comes to them babies. Serena is funny. But she then talks about Kordell going to Atlanta to go film on Keke Palmer's show. And she was like, essentially, like, I'm sad because it's the longest that we're going to be away from each other since being in the villa, which is the longest they've ever been away from each other because they didn't know each other prior to that. So she's sad about it, but she's happy. She's proud of him because he's working, and a working man makes her happy. But she then talks about how he's really been helping her with her anxiety. Love this storyline. An actual real storyline, you know? Leave it to Kordell and Serena to give you something real. But he then states, like, we're going to work through it. Like, I'm going to be in Atlanta, but you can FaceTime me. You can come see your man. Like, come see me. And then, of course, they start hugging and kissing. And she starts talking about how, like, waking up with anxiety attacks almost every single day has been hard. But Kordell has been there supporting her. Like, he's been helping her try and figure that shit out. But we'll get to that later on. Because shout out to Kordell. He being a real man. But Leah and Miguel, they're at his place. She's thanking him again for being there for her through everything she's got going on. And she just appreciates him being there, going to the appointments, all of that stuff. Shout out to Miguel, doing what you're supposed to do as a man. But she then states that she has to go to a radiologist, which means like it's a little bit deeper than what she probably was anticipating, even though she's already anticipating the worst. It's sad. It's sad for her, but she states like going to a radiologist makes her think the worst because typically people going to see radiologists have cancerous things going on. So Miguel then states essentially like he hates seeing her worry, but all he really can do at this point is make sure that she's light, like be a light spirit for her because her weight is his weight. Like, and that's true. Like when you're in a relationship, your person, what they're going through essentially falls on you as well, because you don't want them to be going through something hard. And when they are, you got to be there with them. But Liv, we see her, she's at a hosting class with Kendall because she's trying to figure out what she really wants to do out there in LA, whether it's hosting or fashion. And we find out Kendall has a degree in broadcasting, and he essentially wants to host his own talk show. I don't want to watch it, but good for you, I guess. But JaNa and Kenny, they're at the park with Leah and Miguel, and the adoption coordinator comes to bring them the dog, and JaNa's holding the dog, and she's asking Kenny, do you want to hold him? And he's like, no, you got it. Everything about Kenny it sticks out even more. But JaNa then, sorry about that blinking, y'all. JaNa tries to do that, but Leah's face throughout this whole episode when it came to Kenny, she was clocking shit. You can already tell Leah was clocking it early. But Serena, she's throwing a go away party for I cannot talk, y'all. Kordell. She's throwing a go away party. Hold on, let me take a drink. She is throwing a go away party for Kordell. I need to stop talking fast, y'all. That's the problem. I'm a naturally I do everything fast. I talk, walk, move fast. But she only invited PPG because Kordell don't like that drama. Real dude. Don't like, come on. We don't want that. But PPG plus M and the scammer, they're all there. And JaNa is like, I'm a millennial. I don't like this skating shit. That's not my vibe, but I'm going to teach them a few tricks. JaNa, I'm a millennial too. I love skating. Growing up, I lived to skate. There was a skating rink where we lived, and we used to race. Like, there was like speed races where we used to like really do races for real in there with the blades. Skating is fun, boys. Skating is fun. But they start going, of course, Kordell and Serena on some roll bound shit. They in there cutting up on them blades. But they sit down to eat. Kordell brings up JaNa and Kenny's dog. JaNa wants to keep adopting. Kenny obviously don't want to do that. He says he's struggling with the animal that he has, the dog that you have. But he was like, I don't want to keep adopting, essentially, because I'm not even used to the one that I got right now. I'm like, you struggling with that facade. That's what you really struggling with. But Serena, she starts talking about the progress that she's made with Milo. She's been rubbing the dog. She's been feeding the dog. I said, okay. And everybody's giving her an applause. Kordell says she's been doing really good. But Serena then talks about how it's important for her to get close to Milo because Kordell going to be gone. And that's going to be who is going to be around her. But you can tell just looking at Kenny. I've been hyper focused on Kenny through these episodes. He looks so uncomfortable. He's the only one there that looks uncomfortable. Everybody else has natural vibes. Everybody else is happy for each other. They're happy being around each other. Knowing what we know about Kenny, everything just makes sense. You're around a bunch of people of color. Even though he is one as well, but like, you got 4 black people around you. And you don't like black people. We know how you get down. But Serena, she ends up rolling in a cake for Kordell, telling him how proud she is of him. They all cheer him on because he's going off to ATL. We get the PPG scene at the end of the episode at Serena's apartment. She's on the grill cooking up for them. JaNa is talking about how Kenny is obsessed with Juan, the dog. I guess he's warmed up to the dog now. But Serena ends up asking, like, why did y'all decide to live next door? JaNa said, that's a good question. Because I ask myself that every day. I said, JaNa, the signs are there. She was like, because we were going to live together, but he switched up on me last minute. She was talking about how she was in the grocery store, and he had called her, telling her he didn't want to live with her out there, and he wanted to live separately. She calls Leah for emotional support because she was crying, and she was like, I felt embarrassed. Like, at that point, it was an ego. It hit to my ego. That's what she felt. Leah was me. Everything Leah was responding to when JaNa was talking was everything I was stating. She said, it's not your ego. I wanted her to elaborate even more. He don't like you. That's what that is. He just don't want to be around you. Because I don't understand Kenny's perspective with that. Because talking about you want space. You've already had space for a whole year. Y'all don't even live in the same state. Like I said, the one time that you should literally do a trial run to see if y'all can actually live together would be this time when you're both in LA to film the show for what? Probably 4 weeks. And then you go back to Dallas, you got your space. But that proves that you never liked her. We all know that. But JaNa then says that, no, Leah says that, but JaNa then says like his reasoning was valid enough to humble myself. I said, JaNa, no. Leah says, no, it wasn't. I said, exactly, Leah. But Leah then says like she felt sad for JaNa because she's such a loving and giving person and she would take proper care of Kenny. And it's like, you missing out on it. He is. But Serena then says, like, if he's renewing another lease in Dallas, like, are y'all gonna keep doing this? JaNa says he's gonna keep going back and forth between Dallas and New York. Serena and Leah's reactions were mine. I said, New York? What's in New York? Because all we've heard about was Dallas, but what is he out there in New York for? We know he don't like being an influencer. He work in tech sales, if I'm remembering correctly, in Dallas. So what would you be in New York for? Go through that phone. But JaNa then says, like, his lease is up at their 1 year anniversary mark. So at this point, she ends up asking Serena and Leah, like, would y'all move in with somebody after dating for a year? Me personally, I would. Because I'm not dating to date just to date. I'm dating to marry. At that point, if I'm with you for a year, I know I'm probably wanting to be with you for the long term, which we then need to start moving in together. We then need to start seeing if it's going to work when we're together. So then we can make that next step. Yeah. And Serena says, like, I'm the only person out of PPG who wouldn't want to live with a partner until I'm married, which we all understand why Serena's that way. But she said if she told a man that she wanted to move in with him and he said no, it would hurt her feelings. And we know Serena would clock, she would clock those signs. But they end up moving to Leah and Miguel's house hunting. She said she found a house that she was really in love with, but they didn't get it. So obviously at this point, every other house she's looking at, she's like, I don't even want it. But she then starts talking about how her brain has been pretty much preoccupied with the doctor's appointments and everything that's been going on. And she then tells them about the second doctor that she had gone to, sending her to a radiologist, and it pretty much being about her thyroid, and it's making her nervous because it's getting close to like stating it could be cancer. So she starts crying, obviously, and of course they're both sitting there supporting her. They tell her it's gonna be fine, you're gonna be fine, and you have a village behind her. And Leah says, like, cancer don't care about no village. Serena being Serena, she said, who should it not be worried about? She started posting up. I said, Serena's a fool. What you gonna do, fight cancer? Literally fight it. But Leah then says, like, I've always felt bad about, like, putting my issues on somebody, like burdening my issues on people that I care about, which I fully understand. Serena understood too, because Serena's like, I feel the same way. Me personally, I don't like talking about my issues with my friends. Like, I'm always that ear for them, but I'm the type of person that likes to handle my shit on my own. Like, I do that within my own self. Like, I do it myself. I don't even talk to my family like that about it, which also plays into me also in, like, work and stuff. My managers and stuff have told me plenty of times, you got to start asking for help. I'm the type of person, I will go through trial and error until I get it right. I'm the type of, maybe it's my pride. I like doing stuff on my own and figuring it out. But that's how I understand them. I understand them on that. But Serena then moves to telling them, like, she's been having bad feelings and feeling bad because, like, her anxiety. She's been having a lot of anxiety attacks daily to the point where Kordell is now waking up prior to it even happening, anticipating the next attack. And it's gotten to the point where he will stay up waiting on her to have an anxiety attack. And I said, Kordell, I'm proud of you. Like, he's doing what you're supposed to do as a man when it comes to your relationship. Like, he's caring for Serena. And we knew that he would do that. We knew just watching how much he really was, like, infatuated with her on the show. He's doing what you're supposed to do. And of course, Serena feels bad, but it's something that she can't really control like that. You can definitely manage it, but it's something that she's going to have to, she probably got to get on anxiety medication. And she probably is, but she's trying to manage it. And he's been there for her. And of course, she feels bad because, like, he's not getting the sleep that he needs because he's tending to her. But that's what happens in a relationship. But she then says, like, with him moving to Atlanta to go film the show, she's going to need them, her, Leah and JaNa. And she's like, I'm going to need y'all. And of course, they jump to, like, yeah, we're going to be there for you. Like, we're going to be there for you. JaNa, being JaNa, she was like, I'll go get some balloons. And we go, and they both started laughing like, that's not the support I need. I need you to be here. But they all started laughing because they like, at this point, JaNa don't know how to, we know JaNa don't know how to read a room. But good two episodes. I enjoyed it. Y'all let me know what y'all think. Please thumbs up the video. Thumbs it up. Do it right now. Drop them comments down below. Share the video. Subscribe. I'm going to try and, if the episode 5, I think we're on episode 5. If this one is good on Thursday, y'all going to see me. But I'll see y'all then. Peace.